Hi, I'm Christine. Welcome to Keep Exploring Kids. On our channel, we are going to share some great videos that help families get together, get outside, and play. We're hoping that you'll join us as we do some story times, create some play experiences, and go on some family adventures together. My husband, my daughter, and I are in this all together, and we hope that your family will join us. If you like our videos, we hope that you'll give us a big thumbs up, hit subscribe, and of course, hit that bell notification so that you're notified every time we post a brand new video. And I've got a new story for you today and some great play ideas with simple household objects. Today's story is Extra Yarn by Barnett, illustrated by John Clausen. It's a Caldecott Honor book, which means it's going to have some great illustrations, which is fantastic for our learners. I want to remind you that I will set an Amazon link down below. I am not an affiliate. I don't get anything from your purchase of a book, but I just thought it would be easier for families if they were able to purchase their own copy if they wanted to. Here we go. Extra Yarn. On a cold afternoon in a cold little town where everywhere you looked, there was either white of snow or the black of soot from chimneys, Annabelle found a box filled with yarn of every color. She went home and knitted herself a sweater. And when Annabelle was done, she had some extra yarn. So she knit a sweater for Mars too. But there was still extra yarn. And when Annabelle and Mars went for a walk, Nate pointed and laughed and said, "You two look ridiculous." "You're just jealous," said Annabelle. "No, I'm not," said Nate. But it turned out he was. And even after she'd made a sweater for Nate and his dog and for herself and for Mars, she still had extra yarn. At school, Annabelle's classmates could not stop talking about her sweater. "Quiet," said Mr. Norman. "Quiet, everyone. Annabelle, that sweater of yours is a terrible distraction. I cannot teach with everyone turning around to look at you." "Then I'll knit one for everyone," Annabelle said, "so you won't have to turn around." "Impossible," said Mr. Norman. "You can't." But it turned out she could, and she did, even for Mr. Norman. And when she was done, Annabelle still had extra yarn. So she knit sweaters for her mom and dad, and for Mr. Pendleton, and Mrs. Pendleton, and Dr. Palmer, and for little Louis. She made sweaters for everyone except Mr. Crabtree, who never wore sweaters or even long pants, and who would stand in the shorts with the snow up to his knees. "No sweater for me, thanks," said Mr. Crabtree. So she made Mr. Crabtree a hat, and even then, Annabelle still had extra yarn. It's a lot of yarn in that box. She made sweaters for all the dogs and all the cats and for other animals too. Soon people thought, soon Annabelle will run out of yarn. But it turned out she didn't. So Annabelle made sweaters for things that didn't even wear sweaters. Look at all those houses with knit sweaters on. Things began to change in that little town. It doesn't look so dark and dreary anymore, does it? News spread of this remarkable girl who never ran out of yarn, and people came to visit from around the world to see all the sweaters and to shake Annabelle's hand. One day, an archduke who was very fond of clothes sailed across the sea and demanded to see Annabelle. "Little girl," said the archduke, "I would like to buy that miraculous box of yarn. And I'm willing to offer you $1 million. "No, thank you," said Annabelle, who was knitting a sweater for a pickup truck. The Archduke's mustache twitched. $2 million, he said. Annabelle shook her head. No thanks. $10 million, shouted the Archduke. Take it or leave it. Leave it, said Annabelle. I won't sell the yarn. And she didn't. So, that night, the Archduke hired 3 robbers to break into Annabelle's house. And they stole the box and took it to the Archduke, who set off across the snow and sailed over the sea. Back to his castle. The Archduke put on his favorite song and sat in his best chair, and he took out the box and he lifted its lid and he looked inside. His mustache quivered, it shivered, it trembled. The Archduke hurled the box out the window and shouted, "Little girl, I curse you with my family's curse. You'll never be happy again." But it turned out she was. The end. This is a great story for our young kids. It shows how we can make a difference and help others out and bring light and happiness to the world by doing something special just ourselves and thinking of others. You want to know a great way to extend this book and get some play in? Look around the house for some twine, some yarn, some string, any old thing you have. Pieces of fabric even. Grab that extra yarn, popsicle sticks, tree branches from outside, pine cones. Go on a walk around the neighborhood or your backyard and see what you can find. My daughter found a starfish on the ground outside our neighbor's yard in Massachusetts, which would be fine if we lived near the beach, but we don't. Take that yarn and see what the kids come up with. Some ideas are wrapping, unwrapping, building, tying things together, wherever their imagination takes them. There's no wrong way to play. So simple materials, nice outside walk, and no wrong way to play. Just see what they can do. Have a great day. We'll talk to you again soon. And keep exploring, kids.